Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're gonna be duping another Nomad palette. So this is the third one from the 10th anniversary collection that they're bringing back. And I'm duping the Berlin Underground palette. I'm obviously gonna show you close-ups of this palette, swatches, dual looks, and a final thoughts and kind of like a review of this color story. So definitely stay till the end. And in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially. That's kind of the like main passion. I also do project planning. And this summer I'm really trying to hit 1K. So in case you're new here, it would really help me to if you could subscribe, so that I could get monetized and, you know, invest in better camera and stuff like that. But now let's just jump right into this color story that I think is really beautiful. I love the look of the Berlin Underground, and I think it just, I don't know, it's one of those color stories that just makes you want to be creative and you know, try new things and kind of test the possibilities. And that's exactly what I try to focus on with this color story. You can definitely go neutral because the two mattes down here are very neutral. You also have a matte black if you want to do like eyeliner or just deeper shade. And then a lot of these top shades are very neutral apart from the blue. Like they're all pretty neutral. Even these two over here are quite neutral, and even these at the bottom. Like you have a lot of neutral shimmers with like maybe slightly like sparkle or something else, but overall fairly neutral, I would say, and like wearable. So I think this color story definitely allows you to do a lot of different things. And let me actually walk you through all the shades that I've used. So first up, the super light sparkly iridescent shade is called Wishing Star. It's from Makeup Beauty Shop, and it's this beautiful kind of like yellow green shining one that has a white base. It is the most beautiful shade ever. And Makeup Beauty Shop is a French brand, so in case you're from Europe, you can get that. And if you're from Europe, Nomad also ships from Ireland, so you don't have to worry about like duties and stuff. You can shop from their Irish warehouse. Then the second shimmer shade is a Creamsicle Hollow from Touch of Glam Beauty. I've been trying these hollows for the past like month and a half, and this is such a beautiful one. It kind of has like a pink to like fiery reddish orange base, and then obviously it's a holochrome, so it has all sorts of different hollow sparkles. The original Berlin Underground probably doesn't have hollows, at least from what I've seen and the descriptions that I've read. But I don't really have neutral shimmers in my collection, and the couple that I do are from Colourpop, and they're not very good. So I feel like that would be making the color story worse than the real palette would be. So I would rather just amp it up than make it worse, if that makes sense. And that kind of explains why maybe it's not fully a dupe, like it's just, you know, my version of that color story pretty much, because I don't have these shimmers. This was the hardest palette to dupe. Then the third shade is called Stargazing from Makeup Beauty Shop. It is absolutely beautiful shade. It has kind of like a champagne-y light gold base, and when you flip it, there's a little bit of that like soft teal as well, and obviously also it's a holochrome that you've probably already noticed in the pictures. It is so pretty. Fourth shade is called Star Sign, and it's from the Sinful Echoes, and this one is like a light tealy seafoamy going into this like aqua blue. And I don't know if this is advertised as holochrome, but it definitely has all sorts of different sparkles in there. So from the way that it looks like, I would kind of categorize, maybe it's not like a full hollow, like it might not have all sorts of colors inside it, but it definitely has a lot of interesting sparkles in there. And then the last shade on this row is called My Type of Hollow, and it's also from Touch of Glam Beauty. This one is very much like a taupey champagne base, and then just a hollow sparkle running throughout. And I think it's the most like neutral but fun shade that I have. And then on the second row, we're finally starting with a couple of mattes. This palette is very shimmer heavy. It only has 5 mattes, by the way, and it was kind of hard to come up with a look because I wanted to do just 2 looks in this video. And if you have so many shimmers, like, it's just, where am I supposed to place all of them? Like, I can't wear 11 shimmers on my eye at the same time and be able to like recognize all of them on my eyes. So that was kind of hard. But the first shade, they're kind of soft green, slightly more like cooler tone green, is called Tall Grass, and it's from the Colourpop and Pokemon palette, the like kind of bigger one. Beautiful shade, and I love the mattes from the Pokemon palette. I think they're really good. Next up, also from the same palette, is the shade called Saffron City. Saffron? Well, in Czech it's saffron, so it's kind of hard to pronounce it in English, but I think it's pronounced saffron. And this one is a beautiful kind of everyday yellow, very pretty one. Then in the center we have the shade Crush from Mika Beauty Shop. This is a kind of yellow gold shimmer that has almost like a green blue base, or like when you flip it you can see that there's darker base, and it doesn't, to me it doesn't look black, but kind of like green blue. Very beautiful shade again, and super like foily. Next to that we have a single shade from Colourpop, and this one is called Thank You Next. It's quite sparkly red that has like, in one angle it looks like a pinky red, and in another angle it's like a rusty orangey red. So this one is quite interesting. And the last shade on this row, it's called Greed, and it's from Makeup Beauty Shop, from the 7 Elysian Sins collection that they collabed on with Icarus MUA. And then the last row, the first shade is this beautiful like gold, orange, fiery, pink, everything, and it's called Retrograde. It's from Sinful Echoes, and genuinely this shade, I need at least like 3 million pans of these because it's just so pretty. And then we have 2 neutral matte shades. First up is the shade Fossil, also from the Colourpop and Pokemon palette, and this one is just like a skin tone tan look. And then next up is Trainer's Path. This one is a deeper, still kind of on the taupey side, but, or maybe it's more like a neutral brown, but I feel like there is a little bit of like gray in there, at least for what I consider to be neutral brown. I feel like this is slightly still more gray leaning. Then second to last shade is called Enchantments. It's also from Touch of Glam Beauty, and this one is one of those like marbled one. So in the base, like when you look at the pan, there's like kind of pinky red and then kind of like a gray purple, and that's exactly how it mixes. Like, it's kind of like as if you would mix gray purple with kind of pinky red. Very interesting color, and also holochrome. And the last shade is the shade Let's Do It. It's a matte black from Colourpop. It's a single shade that I think you can still buy, but I haven't checked their website in a while, so I'm gonna have to search that up. But I love this color story. I don't know if I'm gonna fully keep it, and I definitely think that this color story and the shades that I'm using are probably better than what you would get in the original Nomad, like the one that they just released, just because even though Nomad has improved their shimmer formula a lot since the first time that I tried them, it's still not on par with like these specialized brands that literally only like really release that literally are known for their multichromes and duochromes and holochromes and stuff. Obviously, like, if that's your specialty, then you should be better at it. But still, I think it's a unique color story. I find it very intriguing to me. I find it very like artistically interesting. I would probably use other mattes as well, because for me it doesn't really allow me to use a lot of matte. But this year I have been slightly more into the like neutral crease, sometimes even like barely anything in the crease, just like skin tone matte, and then maybe like an eyeliner and a fun sparkle on the lid. It's not a look that I wear all the time. Like, maybe I would use it and wear it like once a month, maybe, sometimes not even that. But even that is an accomplishment for me, because I used to never wear these. So for me, like, this is an improvement. I always kind of had that idea that if I have to use neutrals and do just like a neutral look, I rather just not wear eyeshadows at all. But I think there is also a little bit of beauty in just a very neutral matte look, and then topping it with the most beautiful like holochromes, duochromes, just the most sparkly shades you have. I think it's still fun, and I think it's something that I want to try to use maybe like once a month or every 2 months, just to, enjoy it a little bit. But overall, so I think that's really interesting for this color story. Let me show you the 2 looks that I created, and then I'm gonna share with you my final thoughts. Hi guys, so today we're gonna be creating a look with this little duped Berlin Underground. This is actually my second look. I've already filmed the one that you're gonna see right after this, but I forgot to film intro, so this is gonna be the intro look, because I'm stupid, you know? And I've already primed my lid. I have the Wet n Wild Makeup eyeshadow primer. And now I'm only really missing these 2 mattes to use. Like, otherwise I've used the neutrals yesterday for like a neutral crease. And I think we're gonna do Halo Eye, which I haven't done in forever. So I'm gonna start with this shade, which is called Tall Grass. And it's from the Pokemon palette from Colourpop. I'm using this EO5 from Singe Beauty. And we're just gonna use it in the inner and in the outer area. This one is actually nicely pigmented. Like, the mattes in the Pokemon palette are actually really good. Okay, I think that's good. If it's gonna look weird, then I'm just gonna fix it later. And then also from the Pokemon palette, I have this yellow. It's kind of like mid-tone yellow, like, not mid-tone. I have a couple of yellows that are like very pale, and a couple of yellows that are like very like dandelion-y, and this one is kind of in the middle. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to say that. And we're gonna use that in the center, like so. Okay, I think that's good for this part. I'm actually gonna take my how's it called? My Pentos eyeshadows, which is the Salmon 2 palette from Odense, and the shade Nebula, this dark blue, and I think I'm gonna use it all around the lashes, both the top and the bottom lash line, just to have a little bit more like definition there, and also because I want to use it and get closer to pan. Like, I'm definitely not gonna hit the pan, but I just want to get closer to pan. And I'm using this EO4, I think, from Glaminatrix. It's a pretty precise pencil brush. And then I'm gonna take, I mean, I did create a little bit of a dip, but this palette is literally like taking forever to hit a pan on. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's like a really thick shade. I'm gonna go back into the saffron and use it like underneath in the center. And then the shade Tall Grass. And again, I'm just kind of blending out the blue with it a little bit to make it like a little bit more diffused. Okay, so this is the matte base. It's kind of fun look. It looks like a beetle, which I don't mind that. I love that I'm always using these review videos as a way for me to try out new things, like not new palettes. That's not really, like a lot of palettes are kind of similar, but to try out new ideas and new color stories. So I'm using my NYX glitter primer. It is also almost used up. I don't know how about you, but I always get so excited by the prospect of finishing something up, even if it's something that I love. By just the fact that I'm gonna have another empty, that makes me happy. And I don't like try to have empties, like I don't waste product only to get empties faster. And sometimes it literally takes like months before you even see the progress that you've been waiting for. And it's tricky because there's so many products that look like they're about to be done, and then you have to use them for another 3 months. Like, it's kind of insane. But okay, I think first shimmer that I'm gonna start with is this bluey one called Star Sign from Sinful Echoes. It's a beautiful soft blue, kind of almost like a sea foamy shade, and it kind of has like a hollow sparkle, just so pretty. And I'm gonna use that underneath the green, so like it's gonna be in the inner and outer parts. So just like this. Like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but it is so sparkly. It genuinely looks like a pixie does. Like, I don't know how better to describe it. It is so, like, I love these soft sparkles because you can see each particle and they're all different colors and they're just so magical. Like, I always feel like the most enchanting fairy, and that's exactly how I want to feel on an everyday basis. Like, that's how makeup should make you feel, like a fairy or a creature of all of your fantasies. Like, I don't want to look like a human, I don't want to look like myself, I want to look like something out of a fairy tale or horror or something, you know, but not myself, because where's the fun in that? Then in the center where the like yellow is, I'm gonna use this shade, which is called Crush. It's from Makeup Beauty Shop, and it's like yellow with a kind of gray blue base. So I think it's gonna fit with the other shimmer, and it's also just such a stunning shade. I'm gonna see if I can use brush for it. It's gonna pick it up, because this one is a little bit more of a chunkier shade. Well, not chunky, but it's like, it's kind of harder to pick up on a brush. You definitely need to try. I'm gonna try if there's something on the brush. And if not, I'm gonna use my finger. Okay, there's a little bit, yeah. But I'm gonna have to soak the brush a little bit. There's a pan. I knew that, or like I was kind of expecting that to happen because there's such a huge dip. I've used it quite a bit of times actually, and yeah, I'm definitely like, and I've had this shade for maybe 2 years now, so it's not like unexpected for sure. And these, not like chunky shade, but the shades, there are certain shades for makeup that have a little bit like a thicker formula. Either they're more jelly or they're more thicker, and it just takes them not that long to actually hit a pan. There's still a lot of the shade left, but there's definitely a huge dip happening. I think I'm gonna use my finger for it. Yeah, that is so much better. You know, like, and I don't mind that I have to use my fingers. Maybe if I have like spongier brushes, maybe it would still work with a brush, but I have just like natural bristle brush. And oh god, I love this. I already love it so much. I'm gonna By the way, here's the pen. I don't know if you will be able to see that because it's gonna rain outside soon, so the light isn't the best, but I don't want to start ring light because the wardrobe behind me, it has like it's like polished wood, so it will shine a lot. I'm gonna use this shade, which is called Retrograde, and it's also from Sinful Echoes. I don't know if I mentioned that the blue one is from Sinful Echoes, but yeah, it's Sinful Echoes. Where is my inner corner brush? At least one of them. I have like 11 brushes that are for my inner corner, and I can't find either. This one is the Glaminatrix EO3. Sometimes I have periods of time where I forget to mention what brushes I'm using, and then I remember in the video, and then I have to do it for like a month, and then I again forget. So now I'm in my remembering era, but that's not gonna last for long. So, but I think pretty much all of you know that if it has this handle, it's cinch. So now I just have to teach you that this handle is Glaminatrix, and then it's gonna be fine, and I don't have to mention them anymore. And I always forget to link them. I don't know why, but I always forget that I'm actually using brushes when I'm doing my eyeshadow, so I forget to link them. And sometimes I do get questions about these. So, oh my god. This look is so chaotic and I love that. Now, there's 2 of these neutral shades that we haven't used yet. I think I'm gonna use the second one on the lower lash line. It's from Touch of Glam Beauty and it's the Creamsicle Hollow. So this one is Creamsicle Hollow. It's like a pink to fiery reddish orange base, and obviously it's a hollow. So I think I'm gonna use this on the lower lash line. There's so many shimmers in this palette, which I love shimmers, but sometimes I don't know what to do with all of them, especially if I only want to do like a 2-look video. Then it's kind of like, how am I supposed to show them all to you? And obviously in the original palette, this definitely isn't holochrome. At least I haven't heard that it should be holochrome. I'm kind of using this where the yellow is, because now we have that light base, which will make it a little bit more sparkly. Or like it's gonna show up the kind of more lighter side of that shimmer. So I know that Nomad doesn't do holochromes, but I don't have neutral shimmers, so. And then another holo is actually from Makeup Beauty Shop, and this one is called Stargazing. Let me know if you would want me to film a video about all my holos, because I definitely have gathered quite a bit of holochromatic single shade, and I have a couple holos in my palettes as well. So if you want me to film a video, maybe swatching, showing you close-ups and stuff, I can do that. I'm gonna use this shade Stargazing in the center, just like over here in the like lower part of the center of the lid. Not fully covering all of that yellow, but just, you know, slightly. Because I think that's I mean, sometimes I use holos all over the lid, but I love them especially for just like adding that little bit of fun into the look. Because then when I like film close-ups and I move my head, it just creates the most magical effect. So now I'm gonna finish up the look and I'll be right back. So here's the look finished. As you can see, I was kind of playing with eyeliners, just because one of my eyeliner palettes is currently my palette crush of the month, so I do have to use it, or well, I do want to, but I also do have to use it every single day. And I don't know, I wanted to add a bit more blue to this look, and I also really wanted to do blue lips, so that's where we went with this look. But let me show you what I used. I have my Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. I'm trying to use this one up. There's still some product left. Then I have the Revolution Streamline eyeliner in the shade Light Blue. love this, and I have to sharpen it, by the way, but it is beautiful blue. I don't know, I wanted blues today. Lips, I have this Handayan, I never know how to pronounce it, but it's this liquid lipstick that I bought at ESTyle, and I have a code with ESTyle, so I'm gonna link this product particularly and also my code with ESTyle. It would really help me if you would use it. And this one is the number 11, I like the shade number 11. I have my Super Stay Concealer from Maybelline that I always wear, and this one is the shade number 10. Then, what else? I showed you the primer, so that's obvious. Then blush is also just like a basic thing that I always use. So if you've been watching my previous videos, you already know what I'm gonna mention, but I have this deep body shade called Gingerbread from the from the Merry Christmas palette by Woodens's Eye, and then this light gray that is almost out, which is called Ice Crystal, and it's from the Christmas Eve palette also by Woodens's Eye. So that's what I'm using because I want to use these shades up this year and have my Christmas palettes finished. And then as a blush, I have this Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm actually using a couple of different shades. So I have this shade called Milky Way on my brow bone here. It's kind of like a goldy pink. Then as a blush, I'm mixing the shade Supernova, is that? Yeah, Supernova, which is this kind of darker, like pink to peach, with this very light pinky shade called Aurora. So I mix these two on a brush, and I got this highlighter because I feel like this shade is a little bit too dark for a highlighter for me, but when I mix it with this, it's completely fine, and at least I get a couple more uses in this palette since it is another palette that I want to use up this year. So that's for, oh, and the liners. So I have this Glisten Cosmetics and Lin's Collab palette, and I've used this deep blue called Cringe. So this one, I really have to clean this palette, but I think I'm gonna do that after I'm done with my with the Palette Crush of the Month project. I think that's gonna be a better idea. But that's everything for this look. Let me kind of show you a little bit more of a close-up. I don't know how well you can see the sparkle, but it is insane. Like, I love this look so much. I cannot even describe how beautiful it is. And yeah, I just love when I get to sit here and just create something like this and feel like a complete fairy. You have no clue how happy that makes me. So that's for this look. Let me show you the second one, and I'll pop in back for the outro. Hi guys, sorry, here's the first look that we're gonna be playing for the first time with the dupe of the Berlin Underground palette by Nomad Cosmetics. I'm gonna prime my lids with the Wet n Wild Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer, if I'm still gonna be able to get something out. Yeah, there's still a little bit left. So we're gonna start with this light kind of beigey shade. And I'm gonna pop up the way that this is called. I know that's from the Pokemon palette by Colourpop, but I don't remember the name of it. So I'm just gonna pop it on the screen right now. I'm just gonna use it kind of all throughout the crease. Then I'm gonna take, I think this is actually Fainted, if I remember that correctly. And I think this is Trainer's Badge, also from the Pokemon palette by Colourpop. So let me use that as the second shade. I'm gonna use that in the outer part of the crease. Then I'm gonna use this matte black, and it's called Let's Do It, and it's a single from Colourpop. I'm just gonna use it as an eyeliner. So like this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. And I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm gonna spray it with a setting spray or water. You can use that as well. And I'm gonna use this shade. This one is from Makeup Beauty Shop. And it's from the the 7 Elegant Scents collection. It's called Greed. And it's a beautiful, deep kind of purple to blue multi-chrome shimmer. And I'm gonna line with that. And the black will be the base, you know? So that's like really sparkly, really multi-chromy. Just really beautiful. And I'm really sorry if I'm moving the camera, but I need to steady my hands on the table, and the table also carries the tripod with the camera, so if it's slightly shaky, I'm really, really sorry, but I need something steady to put my hands on, especially if I'm doing liner. Like for the other things, I don't need that, but for liner, I really do, so I'm really sorry if that's annoying. And I've never been to Berlin, even though Germany is literally right next to Czech Republic, so it's not a long ride there, but I've never been there. I don't know if that's something that anyone from Berlin would wear, because I'm not actually 100% sure what the fashion is like in there. I know it's quite out there, but I've never been. And it's literally like, it doesn't get much closer than that for me. Like literally Germany, Austria, Poland, like that's literally right next to Czech Republic as well as Slovakia. So yeah. And I've only been to Poland and Slovakia. Well, I've actually been to Austria many times too, but mostly for the mountains, like the Alps. I haven't really been to many cities. Okay, so that's for the liner. And now I'm gonna get my NYX glitter primer, and we're gonna do some shimmers. And a lot of the shimmers from the... No, I don't really have much of the NYX glitter primer left. But a lot of the shimmers from the Berlin Underground were like neutrally, or at least the swatches kind of look like they're very neutrally taupey with a little bit of maybe like gray or brown sometimes. Some of them were kind of going towards green and stuff. But, you know, overall, they kind of looked just like a grungy neutral. So I didn't really know what to use for shimmers, because I don't really have neutral shimmers, if I'm being honest with you. And the only ones that I had are holochromes. So we're gonna be using holochromes. I don't think that the shades in Nomad palette are holochromes, even though in the Chicago palette they have one shade which I think is a holochrome, or at least it looks like it, so I don't care if it's described that way, it just looks like it. I'm gonna start with this shade. This one is a new shade from Touch of Glam Beauty. I haven't used it yet. It's called Enchantments, and it's like a marbled holochrome. Really interesting shade. When I swatched it, when I first like got this, and I'm gonna use it over here in the like second half. And it's like a berry neutral, very interesting, and it has a little bit of like a champagne to like a green flip. It's actually a very interesting shade. I think this one is kind of similar to what the original shade in the palette is supposed to be like, from what I remember. I think this was the one that I was like, you know what, this is kind of accurate. Now I'm gonna use this shade, which I think is also from Touch of Glam Beauty. And it's called My Type of Hollow, and it's another holochrome, but it's like a soft, cool toned beige, kind of taupey almost beige, which I think it's supposed to be like that. And I think the shimmer was supposed to have a little bit of like either gray, like silver, right, or blue sparkle, maybe. Like I think it was something like that, and that was the reason why I chose the shade. But honestly, I made this color story like a week ago, when I made the whole when I made all the 3 palettes, just to like prepare them, because it took a lot of research for me, many minutes and hours just spent researching all sorts of different swatches and close-ups and stuff like that. Like I was literally building these color stories for 4.5 hours. Because I couldn't find that many swatching videos that actually like gave me any idea, because a lot of them were like, they looked really nice, but I had no clue what the shades actually look like. I just saw all the sparkles, but like not actually how the shades look like. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but sometimes it is like that with swatches, and I hope I don't make swatches like that, but if I do, just call me out on that and I'll change that. Now I'm gonna use this in the inner corner, and this one is called Wishing Star, and it's from Makeup Beauty Shop. It's a beautiful shade. I've actually worn this one already once. These are new shades for me, by the way. Like I think the package came to me like a month ago, maybe more, but I haven't really had time to play with them for a while. So, and this is just such a beautiful, like a super sparkly warm yellow going into this like green. It's just such a like green gold, and I love that. I love green gold. I wish everything in my life was green gold, because it's just so pretty, and I feel like that like kind of woken up the look and makes it like, you know, really bam. Then I'm gonna use this red shimmer. I didn't know if I'm not gonna use a multi-chrome here, but I think the original shimmer shade in that palette is just like a shimmery reddish color. It's called Thank You Next from Colourpop. I don't know if it's a single or it fits in a palette. Well, actually, yeah, this is single because it has the sticker at the back. So this is a single. I don't know if you can still buy it though. And yeah, and I'm gonna use it on the lower lash line, because I don't really like reds. I mean, I'm a little bit better with red shimmers than red matte sometimes, but it really depends. And I just don't think that red really suits me when it comes to eyeshadow. But also I did a couple looks that I was like, you know what, this is kind of cool. So maybe it's just me being a hater. Maybe reds are okay, but yeah, you know what, this kind of looks like maybe it could work as a Berlin look. Let me know down below. But I'm gonna finish up the look and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the finished look. I don't know if the lipstick matches this look, but I've had that for a previous look and I'm just not really in the mood to change that. And I'm gonna have to start a ring light, I think, because the sun is kind of, well, it's not setting yet, but it's definitely not gonna wait for much longer. But this is the look, and I actually went in very simple. I completely forgot to put a waterline pencil. I have the Superstay concealer as always. I have my Panorama mascara from L'Oreal, and blush is my usual combo, which is the shade Ice Crystal from the Christmas Eve palette, which I depotted, and then the shade Gingerbread from Merry Christmas from Uden's Eye. Both of them are depotted, and then I have the mini Charms palette by Beauty Bay, and I've mixed these two shades. So this one is called Milky Way, and this one is called Supernova. So these two mixed together to create this kind of like a pinky gold. I just felt like maybe that would fit, because this is kind of like a pinky, then we have purple as the eyeliner, and then goldy green for the eyes. So yeah, but it is very beautiful. I love the sparkle on this. I'm gonna try to maybe like, if this video is not gonna be the quality that I would want, I'm gonna try to film a close-up look and show you and like attach it. But it is so beautiful, and I don't do looks like this very often, but every single time I do, I just love it. I think like something very neutral in the crease, and then like a fun liner and a super sparkly inner corner. That's such a underrated formula. And I know that I love my like super colorful looks and bold and, you know, looking like a parrot of sorts. But especially this year, I've been appreciating these looks more and more. So that's for this beautiful color story that I've been enjoying. And we've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shades. So we have these three in the center, like the three central shimmers, this one, these two mattes, and then this shade. So I'm gonna have to figure out a look with that, which is gonna be interesting, but we're gonna do it. I have a full trust in myself. I don't, but it doesn't matter. So far, really happy with this one, and I think it's a cool color story. Like it's definitely something I haven't seen before, so I think that's plus points for this palette. Okay, so to conclude, I am definitely inspired by this color story. I think if I had the palette, I would use it from time to time, but I also think that I like this dupe a lot more, or like I probably would like this dupe a lot more just because of the quality of shimmers, and I can work with subpar mattes. Not that that is nomads. Not that that would be nomad, because nomad has wonderful mattes, I think. But I can forgive a lot when it comes to mattes. Like I will mention that they're not good, but I can still use them. It's not a problem. I know how to use them, even like unless they're complete no pigment shit, like I can always use them. But for shimmers, I just want something very sparkly and fun and something out of this world. And even though Nomad is definitely improving, I only really want to buy palettes from them that also have a color story that I really need to have in my collection, that like really adds something to my collection. And I don't think this color story would, even though it is interesting. But I think I'm just gonna keep a picture of the color story, this palette, and if I'm gonna want to revisit it, I can always do that. It's not hard for me to do that and like recreate this dupe again. But on a daily basis, I don't think it would be a palette that would get a lot of uses for me. That doesn't mean that it's a bad palette. I do believe it's a really nice palette, and I love the fact that it's unique. It's not something you really see from other brands, and it's not something that I can like. I can't think of a similar palette to that. And I've seen a lot of palettes. I might not own all that many, but I've seen a lot of them. I love watching makeup releases and makeup news. So I think I would, and I have a good memory of these things, but I can't think of one single palette that is similar to that. And that's exactly what I want to see from any brand, you know, like it's so easy to do repetitive, like monochromatic color stories or rainbow color stories, but when there's actually a curated, interesting color story, like the fact that they have like a most of the palette neutral, and then you have the pop of green and the pop of yellow, that is just such a interesting idea, and I think it works. I think it works really nicely. So I definitely congratulate Nomad for 10 years in the business, and also for the fact that they created so many amazing color stories that people still want to come back to even years after being sold out. Like that is, I think that's exactly what you want as a brand owner. Like that must feel incredible. And there's so many people that still message them about other older releases that they want to bring back. So I can't imagine how wonderful that must feel. But if I'm gonna buy any of the new re-released palettes, it would be the Fête de Provence. I'm gonna link the previous two palettes because I've done the Fête de Provence dupe and also the America Sparks. So if you want to see that, it's gonna be down below and also in the card, which is probably like a quicker way to get there. And you can check out the shades that I used and the looks that I did. I think all of the looks turned out really good, and I think they were kind of in the same theme as the palette, which is what I always do. If it's like a soft neutral palette, I'm gonna try to do looks like that. If it's like a very creative palette, I'm gonna do that as well. Like it just kind of depends on the mood of the palette. So that's just me rambling, but I do think it's really beautiful, and if that color story even slightly intrigues you, I think you should try it because you might fall in love with it. For me, it would not get the uses that I want to get out of my palette, and I'm trying not to really buy anything unless I know or think that I'm gonna wear it a lot and have many uses in it. So that's the only reason why I'm kind of declining, why I'm not buying this palette. But this is the one last look at the color story, and with that, the duping journey for Nomad of the new Nomad palette is finished for me. There's definitely a lot of other videos coming. Definitely check them out. There's a new review coming soon. I'm starting to film with the Avatar with the Little and Adventure Time palette tomorrow. So by the time you're watching this, it should come out in like 2 or 3 days. So just stay tuned for that. And I hope you had a wonderful day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.